Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. Just turn this. Back from the game, 18-3 to the Springboks. And I mean, it was in my prediction. I said at least 15 points, 15 to 20 points. On the dot, 15 points. And of course, I don't even think the scoreboard truly reflected the game itself. I think we left a couple of points on the field. I do have to give credit to Scotland for that first half performance because they were immense, especially defensively. They had me nipping a bit for that second half, but I mean, when our boys came out for the second half, I mean, it just felt like you're watching a different game. I don't know. It's like it's a weird feeling. It doesn't even feel like when the guys aren't playing in the green and gold. It just feels odd. It doesn't feel like South Africa is playing. I think it's like a subconscious thing, but I don't. Anyway, I'm just rambling there. But I mean, I'm so proud of the boys. This was our big game. Scotland was up for it. And I think this was a statement victory. Even though you didn't have all the points necessarily, I think there was a couple of times we could have done better. Knocked the ball in the 22 or something like that. But overall, very satisfied with the performance. But Scotland didn't look too bad. But I think our defence was immense. I think everyone was talking up the Finn Russell X Factor. I don't think he could have done much today. Completely nullified with the rush defense, the balls behind the backs and stuff. The boys were there to do their job. The defense of the box were absolutely insane today. I mean, just starting off with the front three, we'll just run through the box team and say what we think. Steven Kutsoff, immense as always, does his job. Malcolm Marx had about 10 water breaks, got blood, went off. Bongi came on, he came back on, Bongi went off, and Serd went on for about 5 rounds of it. But I mean, Malcolm Marx was crazy. As always, that's why he's the best number 2 in the world. Frans Malherbe had an absolute shocker for me in the first half. I think there was one point, I think we had a kick over the top and Scotland recovered the ball at their own 5-meter line. And I think it was the number 9, wasn't Ali Price. Who was the starting 9 for Scotland? I can't remember now, but it was only Frans Malherbe over the ball there. But he fell immediately, he just didn't look up to it, he got scrummed in that first half, and I mean, rightfully so, the penalties was awarded against us at scrum time in that first half. Piers Koeman showed him a bit of his highness, to be honest, and I didn't think I'll ever see that by France. But in the second half, he came on for his 13-minute cameo of the pure and stubborn France we know. And he just showcased his class in the second half. It just felt like he wasn't at the game in the first half. But I mean, he came on, did his job in that first 13 minutes. We got our 2 tries. Moving on, Eben Etzebeth. I'm not too sure why he went off. He looked fine on the touchline. Maybe it's just like precautionary that he got subbed. But Franco Moster, the absolute workhorse. The guy was immense all the way through. It just feels like he's got an engine that keeps on running. Keeps on running. Sia Kulisi, brilliant. I mean, there was a point in the game where it looked like some of the Scottish people were dying from the heat and exhaustion. And Sia looked like he just came from the flight. I mean, now obviously the weather is a bit more warm on this side of the world than it is there in Europe. But I mean, our boys just look fit and at the races, especially in that second half. I think it was dominance. Pieter Steph du Toit, immense game, brilliant. Jasper Wiese, in my opinion, man of the match. Let me know who your man of the match is, by the way. But I think Jasper Wiese showcased some absolute class throughout the game. He was an absolute workhorse. He worked his whole way through. And then 60 minutes in, sub him off, and then you bring on Dwayne Vermeulen to seal out the game, get that experience on, tell our boys not to do anything rash. And he had, in my opinion, Jasper Wiese had the perfect game. Literally couldn't fault him for anything. Faf de Klerk, one of his better games. I truly think Faf had a brilliant game. And by the way, now, I'm not as harsh of a critic as most others when it comes to Manie's kicking, but I think if Faf plays in that 9 jersey, he should do the kicking work. I mean, I've seen him miss once, and that was today when I thought it was almost over. The angle looked like it was going over. But Faf's kicking from the tee, brilliant. He was good at the right time. His rush defense as always, brilliant. Manie Lebok with the ball in hand, brilliance. Absolutely brilliant. Of course, he struggled a bit with the kicking tee. I'm not counting the one that's 60 yards out. I mean, geez, I don't even know why we went to do that. But Marnie, brilliant with ball in hand. Moving on to the centres, I think Damien Dialinda and Jesse Kriel both did a very good job. Of course, I would like to see the stats on Damien Dialinda passing. It can't be more than three. He's the only guy that I know that makes more tackles than he passes the ball, which is absolutely insane. But Damien Dialinda, Jesse Kriel, both did their jobs defensively, attacking-wise, keeping that ball tight. I like the fact that we decided to run that ball into them, slow down that forward pack, because we know the subs that are coming onto the field from Scotland isn't nearly as good as their starting subs. And I mean, it showcased in this game. I'm going to talk about it as soon as we get to the replacements. Cheslin Colby, Kurtley Arendse, Damien Willemse, all three of them, very good games. Very good games. Even though Damien Willemse wasn't necessarily the best under the high balls, the pressure that he put King Horn under just to get that ball loose, the ball could bounce to anyone and we are on the attack. I like that tactic. But the starting 15, of course, they struggled in the first half. It felt like, I wouldn't say struggled, because I don't think Scotland had too many chances. The one chance that they had, they took points and they got within 3 points. But other than that, we pretty much dominated the territory of the game. We played most of the game within like 30 minutes from the Scottish try line. Now, something that I didn't like to see was the fact that if we felt like it's almost like a stalemate and we can't go through, we try and put grubbers through. Now, I understand it if you try this 1 or 2 times, but I mean, it felt like we're doing this the whole time and we never considered going for a drop goal. Like, you're putting them under so much pressure, they're not conceding the penalty. Do what George Ford did yesterday. Just slot the 3 points. Say, listen, respect to your defense. We're not going to try and score now because we're going to respect it. We'll just take 3 points, even if he misses. Because there's a much higher likelihood that he slots the 3 points to get it over than us getting a grubber through, picking that ball up and actually going on to score. But that's just my opinion. The replacements, all of them absolutely brilliant. Of course, Ergin Snyman felt like he played the whole game, and I think it was absolutely insane. Didn't see too much of Marco van Staden, to be honest, and Dwayne Vermeulen. But I mean, the 3 standouts from the bench was Bongi Munambi, Oxenche, and Trevor Nyakana. I mean, just look at the battle at scrum time. Oh my goodness, it was demolishment. It almost felt at a point like Scotland, it's impossible for them to win their own scrum, which was insane to see. Then a 5-minute cameo from the speedster himself, Grant Williams. Now, he could have scored probably the try of the century if he didn't get ankle tapped by Finn Russell. Now, of course, Finn Russell didn't have his best game attacking wise, like most of the Scottish team, because they didn't attack too many times. But Finn Russell, I've got to give credit to him, take my hat off for him, to say well done defensively. I mean, got across, he tackled a couple of forwards, had a crucial tackle there against Grant Williams, crucial tackle to stop Colby as well. I mean, absolutely brilliant. Let me know what you thought about the game. Very happy, 15-point victory. Not a bonus point, but I mean, I don't care too much about bonus points. You're either playing France or New Zealand. I don't really care which team you're playing against. But yeah, let me know what you thought about the game. See you next time.